What's the Church of Scientology so afraid of?
This is SPTV.
Hey guys, thanks for dropping by. I've got kind of a hard out today, so we got about 45 minutes. I've had a few comments, people asking me to tell this story about my backdrop. Initially, I just kind of pulled it out to I just kind of pulled it out when I first started streaming on YouTube, and people started asking me about it. I remember the story. It's such a weird story. I'm not even sure where to start. But you would think, for those of you that don't know, I worked as a professional film director for the Church of Scientology from 1990 until about 2018. Most of the time, I was at Golden Era Productions. Then I was at Scientology Media Productions, helping to open that up. Then I was back at Gold, and you'd think that working at a place for so long and the people that you work with, you kind of get to know a little about them and know who they are, maybe some of their background and personal details. But after I left, it amazed me the things that I started to discover about people that was just really shocking that I never knew this. So this one person that I'm going to talk about is kind of an extreme case of that. But I think the best way to start this story is to talk about the Church of Scientology runs some programs that it refers to as social betterment programs. One of those is called Youth for Human Rights, which was based on the UN Declaration of Human Rights, which is something that was established by Eleanor Roosevelt not too long after World War II, and basically listed out what all the human rights that the world needed to recognize. So the church picked that up as a program and started to push it. Not a bad idea, but it's one of these things that they use as a Trojan horse to buff up their reputation. And one of the programs that I was involved with at Gold was Youth for Human Rights. We used to do these. I think I have one here. I'm just going to play one real quick, just so you know what it is that I'm talking about. There you go.
Joe. Steven.
A lot of you may have seen these. I'm not sure.
I'll take him right there.
But they're sort of hallmarky, corny kind of things, You sort of remind me of these kind of Mormon. Anyway, you get the idea. It's kind of so. And one of these was done for each of the human rights, and then they were packaged up as an educational component to teach kids their human rights. Okay, so there you go. That's the idea. So anyway, back in, I don't know, sometime early 2000s, we did a co-op, like a tie-in with the LA Galaxy, the soccer team. And, that was back in the day before Scientology's reputation had just gotten so horrible that today they can't partner with anybody. So we did this partnership with the Galaxy, and then a bunch of the players made themselves available to shoot these public service announcements. So I needed to have a backdrop. I mean, I only had a limited amount of time to shoot them. So the idea was put them on a stool, interview them, have them make a statement about the Youth for Human Rights program, and then shoot the next one. So my idea was to shoot it in front of this really large backdrop that was reminiscent of a sort of Rembrandt painting. So I worked with an artist at Gold. Her name was Vipka Hansen. I didn't really know her that well because I usually didn't work so directly with the scenic department that I would be giving an individual member of the department direction. But I had such a specific idea about this. I worked with Vipka on this every day for maybe like 2 weeks. And the detail in it is just, it's phenomenal, the amount of time and care she took to put into it. And so then sometime later, they didn't have a place to store it anymore. So she came to me one day and she said, "Hey, we're going to have to throw this backdrop away. And I know you really liked it. So how about I cut a piece off and give it to you?" So I said, "Yeah, sure." So, she cut it off, put it in my car. I didn't steal it. It was like a gift from Gold. And I pulled it out occasionally and used it for photography, when my friends' kids need headshots or something. But then I started using it on YouTube, and then after I got out, I discovered, I started to discover who it was that painted it. It turns out that this woman, Vibke Hansen, I had no idea. I'm going to try to pull something up here on it. No, that's not it. So apparently the story was this appeared originally in a German newspaper. This is an article on the web, and she went missing in the late 90s, and there was a lot of interest in Germany in wondering what happened to her. She had been the ED, the executive director of the Hamburg Org, and the Hamburg Org was kind of famous because for year after year, for an unprecedented number of years, it won a big award in Scientology for having undergone the most expansion in the previous year. So it turned out that Vibke was apparently involved in faking statistics. So she got in a lot of trouble, and the leader of the church, David Miscavige, forced her to join the Sea Org or threatened to throw her out of Scientology, where then she was sent to this place, Happy Valley, which is where the cadet org was, and also where they had the RPF. So she was literally forced to sign a billion-year contract. Then she was sent to the RPF, and then sometime later, she was, sent to Gold as a set painter. And I never knew this. And I asked somebody at Gold, one of the executives. I asked them, "So what's Vibke's story?" And essentially somebody said, "Oh, well, because she joined the Sea Org in middle age, and this is not very common." And basically the acceptable truth they told me was, she was, she descended to the top of the bridge. She was OT8, that's where you get to trade in your core identity for a completely fictitious story and, lose track of whoever you really are, in my view. And she got into middle age, and her kids were grown up, and she was an artist. So she decided to join the Sea Org, and she ended up at Gold as a painter. And this was it just amazed me to discover this about her. So, in a way, I was happy that I was using this artwork that she produced, because it's kind of a tribute to her, because I hope she does find some freedom someday. And I also, let's face it, I mean, this was made with church resources, and it was a gift to me, and now I'm using it, I think, in the best way it's ever used. So that's the story of my backdrop and Vibke Hansen. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. So, okay, I guess nobody has any questions about that. That's okay. Yeah, the irony, yeah, exactly, Goldie. The irony of the story is just like amazing. So yeah, I was at Gold a long time, and if anybody is ever curious about what was going on there, just let me know. So I'm going to run. That's pretty much it. We kept it short. I really appreciate your guys' support, and I will talk to you very soon.